Hello, after yesterday's video I was asked to do a close-up of the motor and an inspection. I used a new setup using just the Mobius camera this time, as I can't work with tripods and light stands all around me. This was much easier and is sort of, you'll see in the view I see. So here is the little Hornby motor that we replaced yesterday, and the first job is to undo the clips on the side. By the way, if my voice is different today or slightly croaky, you'll have to forgive me. It seems there is a chance I may have this bothersome virus that's around. Anyway, the next job is to push the armature out away from the magnetic field so that the armature can be withdrawn with the brushes in place. This protects the very delicate little brushes. So first of all, I'm trying a 1mm drill, but this was slightly too large. So it quickly became apparent, and I decided to go for a sharp cocktail stick instead, and that was able to be pushed into the bearing at the front there. You should hear a little pop as it gives way. There it goes. And now tweezers can be used to withdraw the armature and brushes all in place. To release the commutator from the brushes, there's a sort of a knack of a movement really, where you sort of go down, slightly spring out one brush and then sort of curl round to get inside the other one without breaking them. You'll see that here. Spring and pull away. Using the cocktail stick just to remove any muck that's on the brushes. They're too delicate to get a cotton bud in there. Sorry for the thumb in shot. I quickly established that yes, indeed, that metal cap on the back can be levered against and will allow you to push the worm back on. So now we get to work with a cotton bud on that rather black dirty commutator. Bit of lighter fluid to help. I don't think it was intentional grease. I mean, it may be. Who knows how they construct these little motors. It may have been some sort of grease to make the brushes move easier, but it didn't look very good, and so I'm removing it here. There's a little washer just on top of the commutator, a little plastic washer. It's a good idea to slightly ease that up. If you've got no access to replacement motors, then this is a kind of a service video, but I really wouldn't recommend it. I mean, they're not designed to be serviced, so it's entirely up to you if you're curious and you want to have a look at a Duff one. That's looking much better now. Push the washer back down. And there's a nice clean commutator. There's not much scoring or anything like that, so brushes are obviously quite good. And as Gary commentated, that these micro motors all tend to have precious metal brushes. Now, they look like silver to me. They could be, I don't know. No way of knowing really without sending them for testing, which I'm not going to do. So I now just try the commutator back in the brushes to see if any more muck comes away. See what I'm doing now? Push that brush down, sort of slide around and down, and then drop in behind the other one. They are so delicate. Next job is a tiny drop of the oil. That's Labelle 102 in that little bearing at the back. Really was just to moisten it. because otherwise that's going to track back and get oil over the commutator again. So now we put the armature back inside the motor housing, keeping it proud, still sticking out. Note that the little lug on the cap goes into the corresponding slot on the motor body. This is the way it polarizes it. Fingers and thumbs there, right, it's all back together. So now we must bend those clips down. Now I've done it twice, they're starting to get soft already, so there isn't much life in those. As I say, it's not designed for servicing at all really. Checking the end-to-end plate, very, very slight. Less so than the new replacement motors. I wonder if that's an issue. Now I'm just pushing the worm on really at this stage, just so that you can see something turning, because the shaft is so tiny. We'll connect up now and see if I've done any terrible damage. Little drop of oil at the front there for the front bearing. Controller comes in. So what I noticed, as what I've done made a difference, yes, it is fractionally better, but the motor still binds, and if you get it to a slow tick over, it does seem to stop. It's almost like there's some sort of obstruction. See there, it's stopping. That's quite a good slow tick over, and then it just stalls. Ramp the speed up now. I wouldn't say these motors are 12 volt motors. I think they're probably 6 volt motors, and I'm suspicious that the blanking plug on the Hornby DCC blanking plug has resistors to try and drop the voltage down a little bit. Probably very low current. I should have measured it really. I would imagine it's around about 50 milliamps, if that. I'm going to stop making the video now and measure it. Okay, so I just measured the milliamps drawn by this motor, and it's mid-speed range. It's drawing just 15 milliamps. 15 milliamps. Most LEDs run at 20, so that's quite incredible. Now, oddly, I tested one of the Chinese motors, and that's drawing about 22 milliamps and seemed to run a bit faster. So, caution, even though they say it might be 6 to 12 volts, they're probably nowhere near, probably much lower voltage. So it's really worth, if you can, if you're going to source your own motors, look for something 12 to 24. That's a knocking noise. I noticed there's a slight knock as it runs. Perhaps that's the issue. Right, now I noticed that the distance from the face of the worm to the face of the can of the motor must be 10 mil. Using a vice, very gentle pressure with that little ram to push it on. Doesn't need much at all. And just checking that it runs after the vice work. So yeah, 10 millimeters from the front of the worm to the face of the, I can't even speak, the front face of the motor. So very little's really in there. Could do with a slightly longer shaft. Just to confirm, 10 millimeters. Look. That's it. Cheers then.